Hello everyone, welcome to another video from crafterscorner.in. This is Tejal here today. Today is not a technique demo, today is not a product video. Today I'm sharing some of my favorite crafting tools with you. Today I'm going to list out a couple of tools that I feel any beginner in this crafting hobby or someone who wants to take it seriously should definitely have. So let me begin with some of the most basic tools that you should have. The first one is your basic green mat, the craft mat, and this is a self-healing mat so that whenever you cut your papers, whenever you are working on any intricate detail cutting, this mat will protect your work surface. Then is of course the craft sheet. Now this is an absolutely amazing product. This is also a tool as well as a product. This is basically going to protect your work surface when you are working with your distressings, when you are working with your paints, when you are working with embossing, when you are working with mixed media, modeling paste. Anything you use on this surface can be wiped clean. So suppose I'm working with my distress inks, this sheet will help my sponge tool glide really effortlessly. So this is how it glides, and it does not give any of those streaky marks that you normally would if you're working on any other surface. And then once you're done working with it, you can just take your baby wipe and just clean the whole surface off, and you're ready to work on your next project. So this craft sheet again is another must-have according to me. Then coming to the scissors. Now I do use a couple of scissors, but my favorite so far is the Tonic Tim Holtz scissor. First of all, it has a safety cap, so no worries about injuries. Secondly, this is a micro serrated scissor. So what that means is that you can cut rubber with it, especially when you get your unmounted stamps and when you have to cut through them. This is the scissor that is going to give you the absolute clean cuts with it. Of course, you can use this for detail cutting. I use it to cut the wires, stems, the shanks of all my brads, or any other metal thing that I have to cut. I use it with my Tonic scissors. It is black because it is also non-stick, which means is when you are using this to cut your double-sided tapes, your double-sided foam tapes, the glue will not stick onto your scissor. This is another one I use. This is more for cutting through detailed images, especially when I'm fussy cutting. This is the scissor that I use. And there is another scissor that I keep for cutting my ribbons. Always keep your ribbon scissors separate. If you cut your ribbons with the scissor that you cut your papers, your ribbons will not cut that easily. Then coming to a tool which is pretty controversial, the bone folder. Now I have heard a lot of people say this is not necessary, you can use the back of a spoon, etc. for creasing your cards and everything. But I make a lot of scrapbooks, and when I'm making scrapbooks I do make a lot of interactive pages, and with those interactive pages folding is a breeze when it comes when I use them with my bone folder to crease them. Along with my bone folder, another tool that I really love using on my scrapbooks is this, the scoreboard. Now this scoreboard, again, for me initially I thought it was a waste because I am a cascade maker, but I am a scrapbooker, and once I got a hang of this, I started making multifold cards. I started making boxes, exploding boxes, treat bags, gift boxes. Everything became a breeze, and especially with this tool, the envelope maker. Making envelopes is very easy. There are dimensions written over here for what size of card, what size of paper you have to start with, where you have to score. It's completely easy. And of course I keep using either this or the regular bone folder that comes with this. This is the bone folder that will come with your scoreboard, and you have a storage box along with it over here. So this is again another tool I really would love that you could invest in. It will definitely help you out quite a bit. Then the next one is of course the trimmer. Is my little baby. It's not quite little. This is my Tonic 12x6 trimmer. I use this when I'm scrapbooking, especially when I have to cut my 12x6 paper, 12x12 papers. This is what comes in handy. I got a 12x6 because I have a space crunch, and this is compact for me. Compact in the sense that there is an extension arm which goes underneath it, which attaches to the side, and then it becomes a 12.5 by 12. I can cut papers on this. But when I'm not scrapbooking, I like to use a baby one. This is my baby trimmer. This is my older trimmer. I had this for 6 to 8 years now, and I have never had to replace the blades, never had to sharpen the blades, because the guillotine trimmers are self-sharpening. So whatever, whenever you cut a paper, tuck it up. Whenever you cut, you're sharpening the blade as well. So, and we do have a lot of new trimmers in the store right now, so you could check those out. Alright, now let me go into the glues that you use. I of course prefer my liquid glues when I'm crafting. I do not trust any other glues, but when you have to adhere down thinner papers which are less than 80 GSM, when you use liquid glue, those papers will warp. They will bubble up at certain places. So for those kind of papers, I have started using my Tombow. I also use this and this. Now these are my other glues other than the liquid glues that I use. The Tombow is a double-sided permanent tape. It's completely refillable. You can buy refills and refill them. Then is the Quickie glue pen. Now this glue pen is really awesome when you have to glue down the tiny detailed die cuts or the leaves or something. That is when this ballpoint pen really helps to glue it down without having the glue oozing out of from under your die cuts. That is something I really don't like. So for those tiny little die cuts, my Quickie glue pen is the next best thing. And of course Glossy Accents is another glue that I use. I use it to attach my flowers, my sequins, rhinestones, anything else, charms, etc. And along with this, you can of course use your Dimensional Magic, which is also a glue as well as a dimensional agent. So this also works really well. I keep using them interchangeably. That's not much of a problem. And along with the glues, I will show you something called as the glue remover. Now, I do keep this little rubber pencil kind of a thing, because when I'm using my tape glues, your ATG guns, your Pink Pro gliders, or any of these tape glues, when your glue gets out of the way, you can just rub it off. That is one thing that I really like. Let me show you. Now I'm just putting down a line of glue. If I try to take it down or remove it or whatever, it will just not come off. But using this glue remover, all I have to do is rub it like I rub a normal eraser, and it just takes the whole glue right off. That is all. the glue is completely gone. So your glue remover from EK Success, this is again another amazing thing that you could keep with you when you're crafting. Then in relation to glues, especially when you're using liquid glues, when you use liquid glues, it's very essential to remove all the air bubbles from under the paper. If you do not remove the air bubbles that are there, after a couple of weeks when your glue is dried up, parts of your paper will puff up. I'm sure you have noticed you get those little bubbles in your paper. To remove those, I have started using this red spatula. This is essentially for decoupage, but it has a very fine and very thin border, which when you use it on your paper and spread your glue around under it, it really removes all the air bubbles and gives your project a really perfect finish. So this is again one of my new favorite tools to craft with. So that covers your glues. Now let me talk a little bit about the inks. For your basic inks, I would recommend these two, your Memento and your StazOn. I use Memento when I'm doing any alcohol ink work coloring with my distress ink. This works absolutely fine. StazOn I use when I'm watercoloring, because Memento tends to bleed very slightly, not much, but the perfectionist in me will not let me use the Memento for watercoloring. For watercoloring, I definitely use my StazOn. These are your basic black inks. I mostly have all of the distress inks with me, still collecting, but distress inks are one of my favorite inks to use. Along with my distress inks, I'm in love with Hero Art's shadow inks. They are awesome when you're using images that have large solid areas. For them, these inks work beautifully. And for any other stamping needs, I have my Memento. So these are essentially the three inks that I really love using. Okay. So now when you're using your distress inks, what other things do you need with them? When you're using your distress inks, you of course need your ink blending tool and your foams, not felt foams. These foams really help to, as I showed before, blending your ink. This is one of the really cool features that I like about distress inks, that you can blend your inks really well. Now if I had to use green along this side, it would blend completely well. Now, along with your ink blending tool, I also love using my sponge daubers. These are especially when I want to color an image with my distress inks and I don't want to use a paintbrush or foam. The foam applicator really doesn't give me that kind of a coverage. Let me show you on this one. I've already done this. This is my 6th attempt at this video, so hopefully this should turn out right. Okay, let's have shabby shutters and barn door. So what I essentially do is just place it at the tip of my finger, dab it into the ink pad and just cover it. This is when you are going to be fussy cutting your images out and you're not really worried about going out of the lines. So there it gives me a perfect color. Now if I try to do the same thing with my foam tool, it would not really give me such a wonderful result. And of course you can use the same, keep it at the end of your finger, and probably you could distress the ends as well. It gives you a wonderful control with it. So this is again one of my favorite tools. This is not, not everyone highlights it, but these are some of the tools that really make your life easier when you're crafting. So those are your inks. You can of course color with your distress inks. You can definitely color with them. And another thing that I like using when I'm coloring, where is my, the water brush, and of course the big markers. Two of my favorite tools to color with. If I'm using my water brush, all I do is just, I hope it's visible, and just pick up a bit of ink from here and just color it. I don't have to add water because water is already present inside the brush barrel. So all I have to do is just go ahead and color my image with it. And there you have, I have another image colored with the distress ink, but gives me a completely soft watercolored look. And because this is your non-stick craft mat, you just rub it off and you're done. So that is one thing. And the other is of course these big markers. These big markers, the ones that I have are set of 24. What you can get in the store is a set of 36. So you get more variety, more range, and these are alcohol markers, exactly same like Copics, but these are pocket friendly. These are definitely pocket friendly. And of course, other than coloring, I also use them to color my pearls, my rhinestones, to match them to my project. Use them to color flowers, etc. Let me show you by coloring some rhinestones. Let's pick a little blue. So suppose I have these rhinestones and I want them to match a certain project that I have. All I have to do is just go over it with my pick marker. Because these are alcohol markers, this color will not rub off. This will stay. So there you have your perfectly colored rhinestones. And you can just buy your normal clear rhinestones and then you can color them according to what you want. So this is one of the other reasons why I really like my big markers. I have tons and tons of clear rhinestones, and then I just color them according to the project that I'm working on. So those are some of my favorite tools. Oh, how can I forget glitter? I have to show glitter in this. So these are some of my favorite glitters to use at the moment right now. My Stardust stickles, diamond stickles, diamond dust, dimensional magic. This is the silver one. So when I want to use the glitter, I just shake it up and down and then I just apply it on my project. And of course dimensional glossy accents, when you apply it onto your image, gives a really nice glossy finish to it, like an epoxy finish, the same finish that you get with dimensional magic. The only difference between these two is that you get these in glitter. This is plain and this is archival free. This is archival, I'm sorry, which means that a couple of years from now, whatever projects that you've added your dimensional magic is not going to change color, while the ones that you've added glossy accents to might change color. Now that again is up for debate, so let's just not bother and use them for what they're meant. Now stickles you can get in every color that you get your distress inks. So that means 48 colors if I'm not mistaken. And of course your Stardust, diamond, crystal and many other frosted colors. I love giving finishing touches to my cards using these. And of course the newest one in the store, the diamond dust, gives a wonderful sugared look to your flowers or any projects that you're using. This is absolutely glass. This is not plastic, this is not glitter, these are actual chunks of glass. So just be a little careful when you're using, but this works perfectly. And So wraps up some of my favorite tools that I love working with, and all these tools are in the store right now. You can check them out and you can buy and you can start crafting and go from being just a hobby crafter to maybe a little more serious into your crafting. So hope you guys enjoyed this little video, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment below and I will definitely get back to you. See you soon with another video. Bye bye.